Hello, and welcome to baseballprojection.com TV. And the question I'm going to answer today is what is wrong with those Orioles? This team looked unstoppable about a year ago. They were, they won 100 games in 2023, and last year they were doing another great year. They had a loaded farm system, so many great young players, and now they're playing like the White Sox of last year. So, uh, you really can't pin it on one source. It's the starting pitching is awful. That's definitely true. That's something that's not really Brandon Tide's fault. He got fired last week, but the front office, they're the ones who brought in. They made some bad gambles on who they brought in. They brought some older pitchers in. Charlie Morton is a big case. Charlie Morton is lost all of the starts he made. He got hammered in every single one of them. He's done a little better in the bullpen, so you can't count him out just yet. But it doesn't look like a very good investment. The silver lining to that is when you sign an older pitcher like that, you're generally getting him for a 1 year deal, which is a lot better than having to pay someone, finding a guy you give a 4 year contract to, who blows out his arm in year one, and after that you're stuck with a giant contract that you can't move. But in any case, the starting pitching has been disappointing, but so has the offense. Their lineup, my preseason projections had them as an 88 win team, which called for about 6.8 WAR from the starting lineup. They've only given the team 3.3 of that, so they're about 4 wins off their pace on the pitching side, and also 4 wins off on the hitting side. So at this point in the year, you've got to spread the blame around. One of the big spots where they haven't had the production is Adley Rutschman at catcher. He's hitting barely over 200. He's not really hitting for power. And the interesting thing about the Orioles is as Adley goes, the team goes. In 2022, they were started the year 17-25. Then they called them up and they finished 66-54. They turned into one of the better teams in the league. Probably would have, if they had played that way the whole year through, they would have made a playoff spot. In 2023, they won 100 games with him. He had a great year. In 2024, in the first half, Rutschman was playing out of his mind yet again, and the team was 58-38. He stopped hitting in the second half, and the Orioles finished as a 500 team, and then they got swept out of the first round of the playoffs. And this year, again, they're dead last place. So, they need a better Adley Rutschman than what he's given them so far. He's not really a young player anymore. So I think he's either 27 or 28. So this may be, you may not have a lot of future growth in there, but they just like to see him get back to where he was like 2 years ago. I mean, you kind of wonder about that. For a while, he was playing every day because if he wasn't catching, they keep his bat and there's a DH. And maybe that's too much. Maybe he needs a full day off when he's not catching. It is a very difficult job. His defense still looks good. Don't see any much changes on the defensive side. Other big problem they did is in 2022 they moved the fences back, like way back. They turned it in from one of the easiest spots for a right-handed batter to hit a home run, and they sent the fences like 30, 40 feet back, made it one of the most difficult places for a right-handed hitter to hit a home run. In this offseason, the front office of the Orioles said that they overcorrected for a problem. They wanted to make it more of a neutral park, and they brought the fences much of the way back in. Not quite as far as they were in 2021, but a lot closer to that. The fences are still higher than they were before. I think that was a huge mistake. I saw that coming at the time. One of the effects of having such deep fences is they seem to benefit more than their opponents. Their starting pitchers were able to gain confidence, throw strikes, and not worry about every pitch they throw over the plate being sent 360 feet for a home run. Now it's 360 feet for a flyout. So they were able to throw more strikes. They became better pitchers in the process. And the Orioles have kind of taken that whole situation and put it in reverse. You've got a bunch of pitchers out there who are just giving up home runs left and right. Uh, Another thing is, if you look at the home runs by right-handed batters in Camden Yards, the Orioles have been out-homered every year, since 2021 by right-handed batters. And some of that could be that maybe they have fewer right-handed batters. I'm not looking at home runs per at-bat, just at home run totals. But in 2021, they hit 80 home runs. Their opponents hit 106. For the next 3 years, the average was 37 for the Orioles from a right-handed batter in Camden Yards, 46 for the opponents. So instead of getting out-homered by 26, you're only getting out-homered by 9. So, it's still a weakness, but you've made it less of a weakness. Well, they made that a bigger weakness now because this year there have been 31 home runs hit by right-handed batters in that ballpark, 23 by the opponents, only 8 by the Orioles. Ryan Mountcastle, the first baseman, he has 2 of those home runs. They're the only 2 home runs he's hit, so he's having an awful season. He's one of the big problems in the lineup right now. But to help him get his 2 home runs, they're giving up a ton of home runs to the opponents. It's a really bad trade, and I think if the Orioles want to turn things around, I think they need to accept the identity, be a pitcher's park, be a place where you can get a right-handed batter, hit the ball a long way, and make an out. And some of their best hitters, like Jackson Holliday, who's developing extremely well. You can't blame any of this on him. And Gunnar Henderson, they're left-handed batters, so let them. Colton Cowser, Heston Kjerstad, these are left-handed batters. Rutschman's a switch hitter. Let them hit the ball out to right field and make the opponents with their right-handed batters, make them hit flyouts to left. That's the way to do it. I hope the Orioles can turn this around at some point, but a lot of mistakes have been made. I think another big mistake was I didn't really hate the strategy going in to go after like 1-year contracts for some older pitchers and hoping that the lineup can provide and the defense can support them and the bullpen can shut things down if they give you 5 innings. But they didn't go after an ace like they did the year before. They brought in Corbin Burns for 1 year. He had a great year for him. He got his megabucks contract and went somewhere else. They didn't do anything like that this year, and that could be a big mistake considering there were pitchers available. Specifically, Garrett Crochet went to the Red Sox. When he went to the Red Sox, he went for a prospect package that did not include their best prospects. The White Sox didn't get Roman Anthony. They didn't get Christian Campbell. They might have got some decent guys, but they didn't get the number 1. So the Orioles, they could have topped that offer easily. They could have sent Samuel Basallo over there and maybe a couple other pieces. They probably could have gotten a deal done. It would have been a better offer than what Boston made. So unless the White Sox were like so intent on recreating the Chris Sale trade, I don't know why they'd want to do that. The first Chris Sale trade didn't really work out well for them anyway. It's kind of like Oakland deciding, oh, we did so well on the Matt Chapman trade, the Josh Donaldson trade. Let's go trade Matt Chapman to the Blue Jays too for a very similar prospect package. And neither one of those moves worked out. So it's like when something doesn't work out, try not to repeat it. So in this case, the Orioles, move your fences back. It worked. Stick with what's working. So in any case, this is it for the video for right now. I want to remind everyone the book War and Pieces is out on Amazon. Just go to baseballprojection.com. You'll see plenty of links for it. It's a great book. I'm going to reread it myself now that it's been several months since I published it. So goodbye, and Orioles, hope you turn things around. Bye.